So, in our last class, I was talking about training and its areas. Today's class will be covered on three major topics related to the training. The first will be principles of training, then steps in training process, and third, the advantage of training. So, the training must be a continuous process, must be planned systematically in order to accomplish the desired result efficiently, must result in benefit both to the organization as well as employees. According to Rachel, in order for training program to be effective, the following principles must be the basis for training program. The first will be training is most effective when the learning experience occurs under conditions that are identical to the actual condition that occurs on the job. Second will be training is most effective if the supervisor who is who trains the employees is made responsible for the progress of the candidate and overall results of the training process. Third will be training is most effective if the learner is given helpful, friendly and personal attention and instructions are also monitored. This world creates self-confidence in the employee and the desire to be better. Providing training in the knowledge of different skills is a complex process. A number of principles have been evolved which can be followed as guidelines by the trainees. Some of them are motivation. As the effectiveness of an employee depends on how well he is motivated by management, the effectiveness of learning also depends on motivation. In other words, the trainee will acquire a new skill or knowledge truly and quickly if he or she is highly motivated. Thus, the training must be related to the desires of the trainees, such as more wages or better job, recognition, status, promotion, etc. The trainer should find out the proper way to motivate experienced employees who are already enjoying better facility in case of retraining. Progress information. It has been found by various research studies that there is a relation between learning rapidly and effectively and providing right information specifically. And as such, the trainer should not give excessive information or information that can be misinterpreted. The trainee also want to learn a new skill without much difficulty and without hand too much or receiving excessive information or wrong type of progressive information. So, the trainer has to provide only the required amount of information specifically to the trainee. Reinforcement. The effectiveness of training is learning new skill or acquiring new knowledge should be reinforced by means of rewards and punishment. Example of positive reinforcement are promotion, rise in pay, etc. Punishments are also called negative reinforcement. Management should take care to award the successful trainees. The management can punish the trainees whose behavior is undesirable, but the consequence of such punishment have their long-run ill effect on the trainer as well as on the management. Hence, the management should take much care in case of negative reinforcement. Practice. A trainee should actively participate in the training program in order to make the learning programs an effective one. Continuous and long practice is highly essential for effective learning. Jobs are broken down into elements from which the fundamental physical, sensory and mental skills are extracted. Training exercise should be provided for each skill. Full versus part. It is not clear whether it is best to teach the complete job at a stretch or dividing the job into parts and teaching each part at a time. If the job is complex and require a little too long to learn, it is better to teach part of the job separately and then put the part together into an effective complete job. Generally, the training process should start from the known and proceed to the unknown, and from the easy to the difficult when parts are taught. However, the trainer has to teach the trainees based on his judgment on their motivation and convenience. Individual differences. Individual training is costly and group training is economically viable and advantageous to the organization. But individuals vary in intelligence and aptitude from person to person. So the trainers has to adjust the training program to the individual abilities and aptitude. In addition, individual teaching machines and adjustment of different should be provided. Now, these are the steps for conducting a training process. There are 5 steps. The first one will be decide if training is needed. The second, determine what type of training is needed. Then identifying goals and objectives. Then implementing training. And lastly, evaluation of the training program. So each of these steps will be discussed in the next section in detail. So the first step is decide if training is needed. In order to complete effectively, firms must keep their employees well trained. The first step in the training process is a basic one to determine whether a problem can be solved by training or not. The first step in the training process is to determine training needs. The overall purpose of the assessment phase is to determine if training is needed and if so, to provide the information required designing the training program. Training is conducted for one or more of these reasons. Require legally or by order or regulation. It is the first reason. To improve job skill or move into a different position. It is the second reason. And the third reason is for an organization to remain competitive and profitable. If employees are not performing their job properly, it is often assumed that training will bring them up to standard. This may not always be the case. Ideally, training should be provided before problems or accident occur and should be maintained as part of the quality control. The assessment consists of 3 levels of analysis: organization analysis, task or operational analysis, and personal analysis. In organization analysis, it is an examination of the kind of problem that an organization is experienced and when they are located within an organization. Task analysis identify the kinds of skills and behaviors required of the incumbent for a given job and the standard of performance that must be met. The objective of the personnel analysis is to examine how well individual employees are performing their jobs. Training should be given to those who need it. Assigning all employees to a training program, regardless of their skill levels, is a waste of organizational resources and create an unpleasant situation for employees who do not need training. The objective of training must be clarified related to the ideas in the task analysis. and should be challenging, precise, achievable, and understood by all. The next step will be determine what type of training is needed. The employees themselves can provide valuable information on the training they need. They know what they need or want to make them better at their job. Also, regulatory consideration may require certain training in certain industry or jobs classification. Once the kind of training that is needed has been determined, it is equally important to determine what kind of training is not needed. Training should focus on those steps on which improved performance is needed. These avoid unnecessary time lost and focus the training to meet the needs of the employees. The third step will be identifying goals and objectives. Once the employees' training need to be identified, employees or employers can then prepare for the training. Clearly stated training objectives will help employers communicate what they want to their employees to do better or to stop doing. Learning objectives do not necessarily have to be written, but in order for the training to be as successful as possible, they should be clear and taught out before the training begins. The fourth step will be implementing training. Training should be conducted by professionals with knowledge and expertise in the given subject area. Nothing is worse than being in a classroom with an instructor who has no knowledge of what they are supposed to be teaching. Use in-house experienced talent or an outside professional based option. The training should be presented so that its organization and meanings are clear to employees. An effective training program allows employees to participate in the training process and to practice their skill or knowledge. Employees should be encouraged to become involved in their training process by participating in discussion, asking questions, contributing their knowledge and expertise. Learning through hands-on experiences and even though role-playing exercise. Actually, for making the training program effective, the targeted group employees and the using of methods such as on-the-job or off-the-job training should select first. The capacity and knowledge of trainers and their acceptance by the participants are of secondary importance. On-the-job training is administered at the actual work site using the actual work equipment. Off-the-job training is administered away from the actual work site. It may be any prominent hall room or auditorium, but the requirement of training environment, equipment and material should be available or arranged there. The training program that results from the assessment should be a direct response to an organizational problem or need. Approaches vary by location, presentation, and type. The fifth step will be evaluation of the training program. One way to make sure that training program is accomplishing its goal is by using an evaluation of the training by both the trainees and the instructors. Training should have as one of its crucial component a method of measuring the effectiveness of the training. Evaluation of the training program will help employers or supervisors determine the amount of learning achieved and whether or not an employee's performance has improved on the job as a result. Assess the program's success or failures. The credibility of training is greatly enhanced when it can be shown that the organization has benefited tangibility from such program. Organizations have taken several approaches in attempting to determine the worth of specific programs. In this phase, the effectiveness of the training is assessed. Effectiveness can be measured in monetary or non-monetary terms. It is important that the training is assessed on how well it addresses the needs it was designed to address. Participant opinions. Evaluating a training program by asking the participant opinions of it is an inexpensive approach that provide immediate response and suggestion for improvement. The basic problem with this type of evaluation is that it is based on opinion rather than fact. In reality, the trainee may have learned nothing but perceive that learning experience have occurred. The second one is the extent of learning. Some organization administration test to the determine that what the participant in the training program have learned. The pre-test, post-test, controlled group design is one evaluation procedure that may be used. Behavioral change. Test may indicate fairly accurate when what has been learned, but they give little insight into desired behavioral change. The accomplishment of training objective. Still another approach to evaluating training program involves determining the extent to which stated objectives have been achieved. Benchmarking. Benchmarking utilizes example practice of other organizations to evaluate and improve training program. It is estimated that up to 70% of American are and recently European and Indian firms engage in some sort of benchmarking. A case of simplicity. Value is the measure of impact and positive change elicited by the training. These are the advantage of training program. Training brings about benefit both to the organization and employees. Let us have a look on these. Grilliam also outlined 6 reasons why companies believe that investment in training can help them gain a competitive advantage. The first one, increased efficiency of the employees. An effective training program can make the employees of the company work in an effective manner. With training, people gain confidence, and this confidence is seen in the output and result. Reduce supervision. An employee needs to be supervised when he works. When the employee has got sufficient training, the amount of supervision required is less, as mistakes are less. This reduces the workload of the supervisor. Less amount of wastage. The amount of wastage by an employee reduces a lot due to the training, and therefore if we take an account of the amount of wastage, we find that the company has saved a lot of money. Reduce turnover. Proper training improves the change of obtaining promotions, and employees are happy because they have better opportunities. This will be lowering employees' turnover, intention, and hence labor turnover in the company. Help in better functioning of the organization. Training always benefits employees, whether old or new. In the case of new employees, training helps them a lot. This is because new employees may not be aware of the functioning of the organizations, and training helps them to gain knowledge and insight into the working of the company. Better labor management relation. Labor management relations are very essential for an organization. When companies introduce training program and prepare employees for future job and promotion, they send out a message to the unions that they are interested in employees' welfare. Due to this, the union also adopt a positive attitude and labor management relation improves. Advantage to the employees. Contributing to the debate on the general benefit of employees, training and development stated numerous benefits. A training program has the following advantages. Advantages to the organizations are self-confidence, Training leads to an increase in employee self-confidence. The person is able to adjust to his work environment and does not feel humiliated in front of his senior. This confidence leads to chance of better effort in the future of the employees. Increase motivation levels. Training brings a positive attitude among employees and increase the motivation level of the employees in the organization, thereby improving the result of the organization. High reward. An effective training program helps an employee to take the benefit of the reward system and incentive available in the company. Thus, the employee is able to get these rewards, which in turn increases his motivation level. Group effort. An effective training program not only teaches an employee how to do his work, but also train him to work as a part of the group. Thus, training program improves group effort. Promotion. Effective training program increase performance and increase the chance of obtaining promotion. Many employees even opt for a certain program so that they can help the employee improve his chance of promotion and obtaining higher position in the organization. So, we can conclude that in the age of globalization, knowledge is becoming a reliable source of sustained competitive advantage. It is becoming a basic capital and the trigger of development. Modern organizations therefore use their non-HR resources, that is money, time, energy, information, etc. for permanent training and development of their human resources. Since the organizational knowledge is largely located inside the human mind, that is the head of the employees, as carriers of knowledge and activities, human resources are becoming the key factor of business success. Organizational development is always conditional by human knowledge and skill. This is why contemporary organizations pay more and more attention to the development of their employees. Thus, employee education and training are becoming an optimal answer to complex business challenge, and the management of the human resource is taking a central role in modern management. Employees are hired based on their current knowledge. New employees may not be able to perform their assigned jobs satisfactorily. As time goes on, knowledge becomes obsolete. Often they must be trained to the duties they are expected to do. Even the experienced employees in a new job need the training to improve their performance. Through the process of employee training and development, the management of human resources provides constant knowledge innovation, creates conditions for mutual knowledge and experience exchange and proactive behavior. In this way, contributing to competitive advantage and satisfaction of all participants in business procedure. Training is not a luxury, it is a necessary if companies are to participate in the global electronic marketplace by offering high quality product and service. Training is the process of providing required skill to the employees for doing the job effectively, skillfully and qualitatively. Training of employee is not continuous, but it is periodical and given in specific time. Generally, training is given by an expert or professional in the related field or job. Thus, training is a process that tries to improve skill or add the existing level of knowledge so that employee is better equipped to do his present job or to mold him to be fit for a higher job involving higher responsibility. It bridges the gap between what the employees has and what the job demands. Training is required at every stage of work and for every person at work to keep one update with the first changing technology, concept, values and environment. Training play a vital role. Training programs are also necessary for any organization for improving the quality of work of the employees at all levels. It is also required one when a person is moved from one assignment to another of a different nature. So this is all about training program. In our next class, we will talk about performance appraisal. If you have any doubt, you can talk me in the class. Thank you.